My name is Alec Wright, and I'm excited to have 10 minutes today to share our thoughts on a pitch deck format that's very effective and in line with what Silicon Valley investors typically see. Every company has a different story to tell, and every deck's going to be a little bit different, but this is a really great starting place and can help make sure you cover all the key points Silicon Valley investors are typically looking for. We, like to talk about kind of the general topics that are really important, and we go through things like purpose, problem, solution, market size, business model, etc. And we're going to share a little bit more thoughts about what that means in a pitch deck format, and also provide an example of a Silicon Valley pitch deck alongside it that really exemplifies kind of these different strategies. And it's none other than the world famous Airbnb. And so you'll also be seeing Airbnb's kind of very early stage angel round pitch deck, which we think is a great example of how you should go out and raise money in the Valley. So first, we say kind of the mission. This is something that's great to go on a title slide, but it's a one sentence that provides everyone really clear understanding of what you're trying to accomplish, and it sets the stage for the conversation and the story that you're going to tell next. It really, lets people know what to expect, and ideally, it's going to hook them and get them excited. A great example from Airbnb is their title slide. Book rooms with locals rather than hotels. Very clear. Everyone knows kind of exactly what that means, and as Airbnb starts to tell their story, it'll be clear what they're trying to accomplish. The next major topic we want to make sure you cover is the problem. So what is the customer or end user's pain point or problem that you're really looking to solve? The key questions are, why does it matter? And is it really that big and that important of a pain point? Because the last thing that you want is to have a great product or solution developed and investors come and say, so what? Because the problem or the opportunity just doesn't seem large enough. Airbnb's problem was that price is really important for customers that are booking travel. And typically hotels are very expensive. They also leave you disconnected from the city that you're visiting. And there was today no easy way to book a room with a local or, host some traveler in your home. So again, these are what Airbnb hopes to solve. And if an investor, or a partner looks at this and agrees that these are problems or large opportunities, then they've kind of got them hooked, and Airbnb has a great opportunity. The next major kind of topic you want to cover is the solution. So explain your company's value proposition for solving the customer's problem and how you go about it. It's a great chance to show the specific features or kind of outcomes for the solution and, start laying the seeds as why it's better than, everything else that might be on the market. So this is your first chance to really explain specifically, what it is that you're doing, and frame the product and the customer outcome that you can enable. From Airbnb's perspective, it was a web platform where users could rent out their space and host travelers, and it enabled people to save money while traveling, make money while hosting, and share culture and connection to the city. I think what's really important is that these are all outcomes. There's a massive focus on what is this platform enabling users and people to do. Always remember that simple beats complicated every time. So just focusing on these kind of very simple outcomes made it, really easy for individuals to understand why people would adopt the platform and why Airbnb would become so popular. The next topic to address is why now? A constant question you get from investors is, why hasn't everyone else done this yet? Or, why is now the right time for this business? And it's a great opportunity for you to explain, how different solutions in the industry have evolved, as well as kind of the current state of those solutions and any new trends or technology dynamics, and how those trends are positioning you for success. And so, it's a great opportunity to go and explain, why you have a unique opportunity to win in this space. And, investors are obsessed with kind of the timing of technologies and companies and, validating validating your opportunity through other dynamics and trends in the market. And so for Airbnb, the way they told that story was the rise of kind of couch surfing and temporary housing on Craigslist, which for them really showed a new consumer acceptance of shared and local housing. 5 years ago, people would never have believed that folks would be opening their homes, or that travelers would be staying on an extra couch in a stranger's home. However, attitudes were really starting to change back then, and that was something Airbnb was going to capitalize on. It also allowed them to kind of position themselves as a group that was going to bring this early trend to the masses, which is always a great opportunity. The next topic to address is market size. So identify kind of who your core customer is and the potential size of that market. That can often be communicated through total addressable market, serviceable addressable market, and kind of other metrics around how you might organize and structure the market you're going after. I think the one thing that's really important is to focus on explaining, why this matters in dollar values and in value creation, and showing people a plan as to how you're getting there. So going and putting, $1 trillion in revenue up on the screen isn't very helpful. What's helpful is showing your path towards kind of a large market opportunity. Again, the way Airbnb approached that was to look at the total trips that are booked worldwide, kind of the all of those that are then addressed and booked digitally, via traditional online mechanisms, and then ultimately the part of the market that they thought they could really go after, and they felt they could tell a strong story around how getting to these 84 million trips with Airbnb, and 15% of that kind of total online travel market. And so you should, whatever metrics you use, you should be really comfortable to explain the path towards those and why that's a part of the market that you're going to be able to win. The next major topic is competition. Who are your competitors and what are the advantages and weaknesses? Why are you going to win against often these incumbent, entrenched competitors that are well-funded and have, really strong industry relationships? And this is a great opportunity to hook investors and get them really excited about how differentiated you are from the rest of the market. One of the classic ways you see that communicated is, one of these kind of landscape slides that show all the different players in the market and how they relate to each other against kind of key metrics or components. And, as you can see, Airbnb is positioned up in the top right, as, both being highly, affordable, as well as having a completely online transaction. And so it's kind of a good way of telling that story as to how you're differentiated from the rest of the competition. The next major topic is the product itself. What's the experience, the functionality, the features, the intellectual property that underlies it, and what's the strategy and development roadmap. And so this is your chance to really give them a vision of what the product is and kind of excite them and contextualize the product. This is where investors can have that aha moment where they really see, the opportunity to delight customers and create a differentiated experience. For Airbnb, and again, keep in mind this was years ago, it was showing what the very early versions of that online marketplace looked like. How you could search by city, review the listings, and then ultimately book online. And hopefully with this, investors really understood the entire experience that Airbnb was providing. Finally, the business model. This is your opportunity to explain how you make money, how you're going to price things, what the customer pipeline looks like. And this is key data that investors need to figure out the economics and how compelling an opportunity might be. This is also the opportunity to show any traction in commercial metrics that show evidence that you're moving in the right direction and that you're going to hit some of these key financial opportunities. For Airbnb, it was really explaining the business model. We take a 10% commission on each transaction. And if you take that 84 million trips that we hope to capture with Airbnb and the average fee that we're going to make, that's an opportunity for $2 billion in revenue. And as you can see, it was $2 billion projected by 2011. That might have been a little ambitious, but it's telling a really compelling story of Airbnb becoming a big business in a way that everyone can clearly understand. Next, you want to highlight the team. Who are the founders and who's the senior management? Ultimately, you can include board of directors or board of advisors. And the real goal is to convince investors that you have the right mix of experience to really beat everyone else in the market, and show the history you have of accomplishing things together. For Airbnb, it was their early founding team, and really focused, you'll notice, on talking about kind of the tangible evidence of their accomplishments and the impact they've had in their backgrounds. And so a great opportunity to get people excited about the talent that's around the idea. And then finally, the investment ask. How much are you looking to raise, and where will this capital get you? This is really what's so exciting to investors, because it shows them why they should invest now and ultimately what the outcome will be. For Airbnb, they were looking for 12 months of financing, $500,000, and their goal was that it would get them to 80,000 trips with Airbnb, which was $2 million in revenue. And so setting this milestone and setting this vision as to where they can get is ultimately really powerful for potential investors, and makes it really clear why they should invest in this round and how it's going to help make you a valuable company. And so with that, we think that's a really strong kind of beginning model for an investor deck. Each team should take that and customize it and develop something that they're really excited about. But these are a lot of those key points that investors are looking to make sure are addressed. So it was great to have a chance to talk to you, and looking forward to our chance to talk again.